Well, before I take some questions, there's just a couple things I want to say. Number one, what an unbelievable week. As I said, you just said to the players, this doesn't happen. Today doesn't happen without complete buy-in from the building. Listen, you guys have all reported about the changes and all that, and that's all well and good, but the buy-in and the execution, the preparation, I just told those guys, nothing substitutes good preparation. And we had just such a good practice week. The guys really just, and I said it to you guys about the buy-in during the week. I sounded like coach speak when I was saying it, I'm sure, but that's why we won this football game. We won the football game because all three phases had great weeks of preparation, and we went out and executed. Listen, there's plenty of stuff that we got to get fixed. There's some takeaways. I thought our fans were unbelievable today. You know, you always worry, just generally speaking about, well, the team's not doing that good. You know, this city, right, is starving for some wins, and we were hungry. I know they're hungry, and we were hungry to give them one, and that was awesome. But think about how the crowd affected the game today. We had some offsides penalties down there in the red zone. The crowd was into the game, loud energy, and so we're going to get this dome back to where it used to be, and that was just that's the start. I do want to compliment Alvin on the club rushing record, just like I just said to the team. Anytime you use the phrase all time, it's a big deal. And I know he's joking around about feeling old, but he certainly doesn't look old. He looks like the same guy that was being, producing all these years. I thought a couple takeaways from the game. I thought Honey Badger's, his interception at the end of the game is maybe the biggest play of the game. We started to lose momentum there a little bit, and, not a surprise to anybody that's from this area and has followed his career that he's making big plays and in big moments of the game. Another point that I thought was a big deal is we mentioned it during the week. We challenged the wide receivers, right? There's some wide receivers that weren't even on our roster today. They're making catches. Scantling, 2 huge plays. I kind of challenged him this week. Him and I were joking around all week about, having juice and having energy, practice great, showed up in the game. A guy like Kevin Austin. People don't even know who Kevin Austin is. Here's a guy that we picked up in training camp and practice squad from the UFL and just worked his ass off every day to a point where some of the veteran guys are like, man, coach, you got to give this guy a chance. And so, he stepped up. Ridgeway, a guy that wasn't on our roster initially, way back in training camp, he blocks a field goal. And so, just some really, really good stuff there. I couldn't be more proud. As I just said to the crew in there, the team. Again, I've been around a long time, college and NFL a long time. I've never been more proud of a group, the way that they handle everything. Because when things are uncomfortable, it's easy. It's easy to just cash it in, and no one did that this week.
Darren, what happened at the end of the game?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. I yelled at Peyton Turner with 30 seconds left because he's celebrating before the game's over, so I screamed at him. And so he's spraying water, and I ripped his ass, quite frankly. So when the game was over, he wanted to get me back. So he came up to me, and I wasn't looking. He jacked me in the back, and I got a history of stingers. So my left arm went completely numb. Literally went completely numb. So I'm sure the video has me like this. I'm looking at my thanks a lot, Peyton. So I'm fine. I got a little C5, C6 going for years from the old. Sound like the old guy, and I am. That's what happened. He gave me a stinger, for lack of a better phrase.
We thought you were leg.
I couldn't feel my arm, so my balance was screwed up. I'm fine. Again, I never. Listen, all those other stingers I got in my life, at least I saw them coming. I was prepared for them. This one, I never. I mean, if I'm gonna get hurt, holy cow. So
when you grabbed onto him, that was you literally just trying not to fall.
I was grabbing him like, Payne, are you effing kidding me? Right? I'm like, I'm happy too, but holy cow. So anyway, yeah, all good.
Did someone present you with a game ball afterwards?
I'm sorry?
Did anyone present you with a game ball?
Oh, they did. Derek made a nice little speech in there. I got a game ball, and I gave a game ball to AK, and as I said in there, AK's game ball is an all-time game ball. My game ball was a first-time game ball, but the entire building's getting a game ball this week. Everybody was phenomenal. Everybody, the support staff, coaching staff, front office, players, equipment guys. I gave the equipment guys more work this week, changing the lockers around, like everybody. It never heard a bitch, a complaint, never heard anybody. Just everybody completely from day one bought in, and so the whole building is getting a game ball. But yeah, Derek made a nice little presentation there.
Was that your decision to make Alvin captain? Was the team's?
It was.
Came up to you? What was the thinking behind that?
No, that was a coach's decision. That was my decision. I just thought. Listen, I thought I thought Alvin's presented great leadership all year. Think what he means to this city, think what he means to this organization. Think about the way he's played this year. I just thought he's handled, the week very, very well, and I just thought it was the right thing to do. And he was, again, I mentioned it's easy to kind of just go on and do your own thing. Alvin Kamara might have been the guy that bought in the most of the whole entire team. And so when the younger guys and those guys see the leadership of the team, when those guys see that, they follow suit. I just thought it was the right thing to do. He's been acting like a captain, practicing like a captain, playing like a captain. So why not make him a captain?
There's the leadership on this team, and even between the third and fourth quarter, Mario guys all defense together and giving kind of a hype speech. How much easier does that make your task this week?
Yeah, truth be told, I walked over to talk to the defense. And I certainly, you probably could find the video. I circled back around because DeMario had him, and I said, "I'm good. I'm not gonna do any better than he's gonna do." And he had him goofed up. I mean, but that's the uniqueness about this team. We have guys like DeMario, guys like Cam, guys like Honey Badger, guys like Alvin and Derek. I mentioned it during the week. We have a unique blend of young and old. And our younger, more inexperienced guys have some really, really good examples there to follow. But DeMario is, listen, he's as good of a leader as I've ever been around.
Coach Rizzi getting a stinger at the end of that game, but it was well worth it for him as he gets the win in his interim coaching debut.
Chris, you ever had a stinger?
I never have. Didn't happen on the golf course. No, I chose golf over football. So, how many did you have?
A few. You got to endure the pain for about 15, 20 seconds.
And then it's all good?
Slowly.
Okay.
But the first initial 20, 25 seconds it can hurt.
That snaps the Saints' longest losing skid since 1999.